welcome to one more game presented by Pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my sweaty, smelly wife, Abigail. Just got off the pickleball court. How was it?
It was fun. It was a good group today.
A good group?
It was good pickleball.
What makes a good group?
Just a group that is all interested in getting better and working on shots and like working on good pickleball versus kamikaze swinging away. We did have one person doing that, but that's okay.
Do you want to name names?
Nope. It was really fun. In fact, I had a girl from out of town.
Yeah.
Who came today. She's from an hour and a half away. And
Do you want to give her a shout out?
Jessie, yeah. I'm so glad Jessie came today.
So fun.
And she was like, she said to me, she's like, man, this is just good pickleball. And I was like, it sure is. It's
That's
just
encouraging.
good pickleball.
You have somebody from out of town, and she's actually from an area where they have a lot of good pickleball.
And she's probably a 5-0. I'd say she's a 5-0, yeah. And so,
That's awesome. Well,
it was really fun. It was a good group.
Super jealous I couldn't play.
Can I bring up the guy who brings milk? There was milk again today.
Yes. Are you going to give him a shout out?
No.
Well,
Should I?
Sure. I mean,
it's
we love
raw
Doug.
milk,
Yeah.
Doug.
Unpasteurized. Which
raw
I don't know
milk.
what that means. That means straight from the
Straight from the cow.
the
In a
teats.
glass,
They
in
call
a glass
teats,
jar, straight from the udder.
Udder.
It's funny to me.
It is funny. And I don't know if there's health benefits to it, or does it help his play?
I don't know.
Maybe we need to have Doug as a guest on talking about his unpasteurized milk. It is just funny to watch a guy carry
Drink
in
milk.
a jug of milk.
A gallon of milk.
A gallon of milk. And does he go through the whole thing?
I asked him if he drinks a gallon a day, and he said about a half a gallon a day.
Oh my gosh. So he doesn't go through an entire gallon in a pickleball set.
No, but his glass jug is like half a gallon, and he'll drink the whole thing.
That makes my stomach hurt. And I love milk. I would need like a ton of
Cookies.
chocolate or cookies to go with it though.
It's pretty funny.
But remember in youth group where you do the
Milk challenge?
milk challenge and people get sick and throw up? I think Doug could handle it.
Oh.
Next youth group night, somebody should bring Doug along and he can handle that.
And that's like
unpasteurized
cream.
milk.
Like,
Oh, okay. What a way to start the show. Doug and his milk. Doug, we love you if you're listening. So keep doing you and
bringing your milk.
keep drinking that milk. So we are here at Ace Pickleball Club again, and you can still hear some construction going. So I was not at pickleball for two reasons. One, I had to work. Number
Boo.
two,
Yay.
Number two, I got hurt.
Matt's injured.
I am injured right now. I'm on the disabled list for how long? Only Lord knows. Hopefully.
Or the surgeon.
Or the surgeon. I'm going to have an MRI probably next week and figure it out. But I was playing and heard a pop. Felt a pop. I don't know. There was a pop. There was popping.
Pain. Popping in pain.
Yeah. I did not fall to the ground like immediately like I did when I tore my ACLs or my Achilles. Speaking of popping.
It's so loud.
It's very loud. Is that a staple gun?
It is.
They're putting up the padding just for a little Ace update for you there. But anyways, I went down after the point was over and just like, it just didn't feel right. I've been hobbling around. I would say after being up and around today though, I maybe feel a little better. So I'm a little optimistic. Abby does not think it's my ACL.
I don't.
We have the video of it. Maybe we can post it in the show notes. But it's not like Abby's where there was like a plant and a turn. I just was simply
It's not even a run. It wasn't even a run. It was
jogging
like,
to the kitchen.
yeah,
line.
and to me that's meniscus, but I've been wrong before. So,
I hope
but you
you're
did
right
hear
this
it
time.
here. Abby thinks it's meniscus. We'll see.
And you said popping could be meniscus
Absolutely.
as well. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated on my injury. Not fun though. I hate being. It just stinks, especially this time of year. Just not good. Doesn't put me in a good place.
It doesn't.
Do you want to dive into that? Not on the pod. I'm a little grumpy. I'll admit it. I'm a little grumpy. And
Send help.
Stop it. Stop it. My grumpiness manifests itself in quiet isolation.
Please.
There's no physical or verbal abuse. Let's be
You're
clear.
right, except this morning. How you feeling, babe? I don't know. No, what did you say? Just the same.
About the same. I'm sorry, my first words. About the same, baby. What do you want me to say?
That.
Okay.
Thanks for asking about the
Tomorrow
same.
morning, take 2. Ask me how I'm feeling, and I'll give you a full rundown in the most cheerful,
Thank you.
peppiest voice. Okay. What else? Let's move on.
So Abby's an employee of ACE.
Who's Abby?
Me?
Oh, you just went third person?
I did.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
You are.
I
You
am.
are.
So I will
Congratulations.
be able to probably help with clinics, run some tournaments, maybe give lessons if needed, more contract style. I'm not like on a payroll right now.
And corporate events is going to be a big
corporate
thing
events,
you're going to be focusing
yeah.
on.
So I'm gonna hopefully schedule corporate events, get the corporations in here to do all the fun pickleball stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
If you're in the Fort Wayne area and you are
your
in
business,
charge,
yeah.
your business wants to do an event here at ACE, Abby's going to be kind of the go-to person to set that up. Great for team building, great for a little tournament or just a fun activity to get out of the office and do something. So I'm excited about those. We've had a couple set up already, and a couple groups reach out or businesses reach out to even do leagues. So I think that's going to be a big part of what we do here at ACE.
It's going to be really fun. Yeah. So I'm still a realtor.
Yes.
Still raising 5 daughters.
Yeah.
Still homeschooling a kid.
Right.
Still raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And now I'm an employee of ACE because I'm bored, apparently. I don't have enough to do.
Very wise on your part, on our part, for putting so much on your plate and still managing to play pickleball several days in a row.
You're just jealous.
I am a little jealous. Not gonna lie, a little jealous, a little grumpy, but it's all good. Speaking of real estate, you've had a couple transactions go through, so you finally got
$5
paid.
I just want to say that if you think getting into real estate is going to make you rich, that is false.
Oh.
At least for a time.
Okay.
No, I'm not rich right now.
Listen, you are in the beginning stages.
Yes.
You are in the infancy
of my career.
Yes. And it is hard when you look at that paycheck and see how much and our friend Shane gets paid compared to your broker. But
okay.
All good. You're getting there, and
Yep.
hey, it's still money in the bank that was not in the bank before.
Absolutely.
So good job. You did have another one fall through, which really kind of stinks.
Yep.
But you're managing that well and doing well.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Still proud of you. Even though you smell and you've kind of been grumpy too. Moving on to speaking of ACE employees, another employee was announced the same time as you were, as Ryan Kearns. And
of the Bank Dink Owl legacy.
Legacy? Talk about infancy. The infancy of our legacy with Bang Dink Owl. That's our podcast that we are doing kind of as an extension of this. Mm-hmm. So every other week, Ryan and I are going to come to you where we're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, showcasing somebody's play. It was my play the first week. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it'll be your play next week.
I got a video.
You do? Yeah, let's get that video.
Maybe tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So send us your videos.
Yeah, and for sure.
And then we'll criticize you.
No, we will.
For free.
For free. We will give you opportunities to get better. And I'll tell you what, after going through that first pod with Ryan, I feel a lot better.
Right.
Until I got injured.
Not physically.
There were a couple of things that I was focused on, and that's when I'm on the right side, really trying to concentrate on staying on the right side, staying out of the way unless I'm needed, trying to play more of that support role.
It's a hard role.
It's a hard role. And
here's the thing. If you want to get better, and if you don't want to get better, that's totally fine. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just want to play pickleball for exercise, and that's great. If you want to get better, you should be videoing yourself, and then you should send it to us.
And send it to HoosierPickleball@gmail.com, and then we will choose one video each week and kind of break it down, showcase it. Got a lot of good feedback from it. Yeah. Especially the name. People love the name.
Please write in and let us know if you know what that means, because it is a reference to a news story from 15 years ago. It's
a pop culture reference. It's what makes it fun. It's because if you know, you know. Hashtag IYK.
You need to Google it.
But I gave a shout out to them on the Bang Dink Owl pod, but I'll also say Dave and Natasha Nergy were the inspiration. You had totally squashed my idea, made me feel like I was an idiot for even coming up with the name. And I shared it with Dave and Natasha, and they were like, that is amazing. And I
for
was like,
them.
let's go with it. Ryan liked it, and it's more fun than just you
Off
had a
the
good
Tape.
Off the Tape was a good name. It's clever. Off the Tape, it's a B plus, but it's not an A plus. Bang bing cow, let's go. All right,
Okay.
moving on. Our topic for today, we're talking about drilling, and tell us why. As we sit at Ace Pickleball, why do you think it's a good topic for us to dive into?
Yeah,
today?
here's why. Because here in Fort Wayne, at least, when we're inside 9 months out of the year, it feels like way too long. We are paying, a pretty penny to play, which is fine. I'll pay money, but I'm not paying that for just 2 of us. We normally split it between 9 people because we play for 2 hours.
Right. So the structure, just to explain that further, is at like Wildwood at a tennis club where you have to rent the entire tennis court. So you're really reserving 2 pickleball courts at like roughly $30 an hour. So for a couple hours, that's $60.
Right.
And you don't.
So we all split it among 8, 9, or 10 people.
Sure.
And I'm not
$7 a person.
I'm not renting that for just me and one other person, honestly.
Right.
That's winter time.
Just to drill.
So then the 3 or 4 months we can play outside, sometimes 5, we're all like, yeah, we're gonna drill. We never do because life is so busy for all of us. We've all got kids, we've all got jobs, we're all doing the thing. When we wanna play, we wanna play. Like we just wanna play with each other and have fun. So like every summer I'm like, I'm gonna drill this summer. And I just never get there because of the crazy. So here at Ace, unlimited play, there's a ball machine. I could just come and I don't have to pay the court fees. I can just come and
as a
drill
member,
with
you've
a friend.
already
Yeah,
paid.
you've
Right?
already paid.
So you're not paying additional and feel like, well, if I'm going to pay, I might as well play.
Right.
Now it's kind of like, like I've got an hour. Maybe I stop by
grab
and
the
I
ball
can-
machine.
yeah.
So all of us around here in Fort Wayne are pretty thrilled. We all have been talking about we're all going to drill. Like, oh, this is awesome. We're going to start drilling.
Will it really happen?
Will it happen? I am determined to make it happen. So I've been processing the drills. So these drills I think are good for everybody. But you have to obviously think in your own head, like, what is it you need to work on? So we've got kind of a little bit of a drilling session here for you.
Yeah, one thing you'd written down as we were kind of preparing for this was that you wrote down drilling can be kind of boring. And I see that, but I think also the point of this pod is to try to help you understand that it doesn't have to be boring. You can make it competitive. You can still make it fun, and to see your progress can be a lot of fun as well. So,
and the truth is, I want to get better. I should just deal with it. I mean, even if I, in particular, find it boring, I need to do it if I want to get better. So I can overcome feeling bored.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Abby, walk us through kind of what you would call like just a good drill session. What are we doing? How are you starting off? Just kind of walk us through that step at a time.
So I would start with a warm-up. I personally hate a typical pickleball warm-up because I just don't like standing at the line dinking and then doing whatever. So I actually would prefer, if I were to do a warm-up, is run a couple laps around the courts, maybe do some planks and some push-ups. I think that's a better warm-up. But it's okay if you want to do some dinking and then do some thirds, then do your ground strokes, then do quick hands. If you do that for 10 minutes, you know how I have been a huge proponent of a jump rope.
Yes.
I've said that for podcast after podcast. I think you should stick a jump rope in your bag and bring it to the court.
You should have gotten me a jump rope for Christmas.
Oh, I have one in my bag. You can have it.
I can? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think even think about all the muscles that jumping rope warms up.
Right.
Okay, because you do want to be warm.
But regardless, you want to get warm. Whether you're running a lap, whether you're doing jump rope, or if you do like the traditional kind of dinking. When I do dink during a warm up, I like to try to get in some deep knee bends to try to not just stand there and dink, but to kind of move back and forth, really kind of try to get warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't feel. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep.
So then, normally I have done some drilling sessions. Don't get me wrong, I've drilled before, and this is kind of my favorite way to drill is starting just kitchen out. So start with cross court dinking with a friend, and then as you then you can either you dink a couple times and then you say game on, and then you're really dinking for you don't want to lose your point. So it's kind of a rally scoring to 10. You lose your point or you win a point or whatever, and then play. Then switch sides. So you're working on forehand dinking, backhand dinking. You're really trying to move your partner around on the other side. And aggressive dinking. The only thing you have to be careful of is that can get you into the habit of the cross court speed up, which is not smart. So if the ball is left high coming to me, I punched at the person in front of me. It's not smart to like
practice that.
Yeah. So just be aware of that. But that cross court dinking to 10. So that's where I start at the kitchen line.
At the kitchen line.
Then normally
after your warm up, so you don't necessarily go to the kitchen line to warm up, but once you've done that, then the beginning of your drill session is at the kitchen line working on some dinking.
Yep. Working on dinking, forehand and backhand. Yep. And then work on, as you get to be higher level, work on some slice dinks, work on your top spin dinks, work on, longer, more aggressive dinks, work on the shorter dinks. There's a lot of different dinking you can do. You don't just hit it back over the net, but work on, different types. So. And
I would even add to that, it's nice if you have a basket of balls or like a bunch of balls. Don't just have 2 or 3. It's okay if you do. But even to that point, then work on the speed ups and the flicks. Like when somebody does leave one kind of high down your line, getting that kind of Ben Johns backhand flick down the line or backhand flick back across court can be good to work with.
Yeah,
and
true.
So
and then you don't have to chase that
right,
ball.
Exactly. So if you have 50 balls that you have in your basket, you can just keep grabbing those and then pick them up. It allows you to kind of try some different things without feeling like you are chasing 3 balls around the whole time.
Yeah. So then moving more mid-court where one person stays at the line, and I like to do this cross court, but you can obviously do this straight ahead. But one person kind of there's several different options, but one person at the line, one person mid-transition zone. You can either kind of play that point out, rally score to 10, and then switch, or you can we've done this, and I do like this, where the person who's mid-court is trying to drop 20 in a row in the kitchen, and the person at the line is just aggressively hitting it back at their feet. I like that one probably the best, because it helps you stay in that point.
Yeah.
So I like that, and it teaches, because when you reset, you typically do want to reset cross court wherever you are, because it gives you more room for error.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a reset in front of you is going to be appropriate at some point, but it's just a good drill to do.
Speaking of that, and that is like so true. I not to name drop, but was playing with Jackie Kawamoto
when you got hurt.
When I got hurt.
He was playing with the pros, guys.
And videoed that, and that's why I had the injury on video. But Jackie, like, if I were to pinpoint like one thing she does better than anybody else that I've ever played with, obviously, but that I think is just such a asset in her game, is that cross court like reset. It's not like, I think so much of the time I think of just like resetting straight ahead, but it's like almost always cross court, which gives her more margin for error, has to hit it a little harder, but has a little bit more space to do that. And it just, with the correct spin on it, it's just incredible how many she dug out and did that just over and over, and the consistency in which she could do that. So that's a great thing to drill. I love that you mentioned that.
Yep. So then, you can switch roles, switch sides. I mean, there's different options with that. And then there's 7-11, which is similar, but you just score it differently. The person at the line has to score 11. The person,
because they have the advantage.
The person mid-transition zone has to score 7, and then you switch sides. So that's
And the person who starts out mid-transition zone is trying to move their way up to the kitchen.
Yeah. So a lot of different options there. And again, one of the reasons why I like the cross court is because you can work on kind of forehand and backhand with that. You're going to see a lot of that. Anyway, and then one of the things that I think that I lack, well, I know I lack, and I could work on, is just purely ground strokes. I think I could just grab a partner and just work on, like, from the baseline, forehand and backhand, top spin rolls.
Why do you think that is? Just because you're not really a singles player.
I don't have a singles player.
I'm not a tennis player. No singles play, so that kind of.
But have you ever done? I've done figure eights dinking. Okay, where I dink in front of me, my partner is dinking cross court, so I have to run over. I dink in front, so it's a good workout. Well, you can do that with ground strokes. So that's working on placement. And it's a really good workout. So I've never done that. I've never done figure eight with ground strokes, so I'd like to do that.
Going back and forth.
Going back and forth. It works on your cross court, and it works on your down the line ground stroke, which is very necessary.
Okay, when I'm uninjured, I think that's definitely a good one, because I had highlighted that as well as one I need to work on more. Again, same thing. I don't really play singles, not a tennis background, so my ground strokes have improved a lot, but still have a ways to go.
Sure. So then the last thing you can end with, and you can make this an hour. To me, if you do 10 minutes each, this can last you an hour. That's a pretty good workout.
Sure.
You end with skinny singles, which we've played skinny singles where you switch sides when you score. And so you're playing straight in front and cross court, and I really like that way the best, probably.
I agree. It gives you the widest variety of actual shots you're going to hit in a doubles game.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of the angles are kind of weird, where you would hit a shot that you would never hit in an actual doubles game,
because my partner would be there.
Partner's going to be there to eat it up. But it's still good at working on placement. One thing that I heard recently on a podcast that they were talking about when doing skinny singles that way is when you do the straight on method, you still serve from the opposite box. So
interesting.
I thought that was a great idea.
But then you
move over. It's like Megan Fudge or somebody kind of invented that or talks about that, because that is one thing that's kind of a pet peeve of mine, is when you do straight on serving, you're not really working on the serve. It's a little bit different angle.
Okay.
So you can do that. So then you just serve. So if we're playing straight on the right side, I would still serve from the left side, but then I move over and now we're playing straight on.
I hadn't thought of that. That's
I thought that was a really good suggestion, and would suggest probably doing that just to, if you're really trying to simulate the doubles game, that's the best way to do that. I even thought, like on our skinny singles court that we have back here at Ace, like could you do that where you served from either the left side or the right side, so you're actually serving outside the box to kind of create that angle. I'm not sure if that works real well or not, but worth a try. So anything else on your drill session?
I think that's a really good basic. I mean, again, everybody's got their own strengths and weaknesses. So
and like we say all the time, videotape yourself so that you can kind of highlight some of your weaknesses or things that you need to work on, and then target those during your drill session. Do those repetitively. Maybe it's your third shot, so then you're gonna have your partner work with you on your third shot drops, or maybe it's your dinks. Like, man, I could spend 20 minutes every day backhand dinking, and I feel like that would dramatically improve my game as a left-sided player, because the consistency, you should be able to hit 50 backhand dinks in a row without making a mistake. All right, let's take a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about drill sessions. We're going to give you, that was really kind of a rundown of a two-person drill session, but we're going to give you some suggestions on our favorite drills for single person, 3 and 4 person as well, and then we'll wrap it up from there. So we will be right back after this commercial break.
Parents, your teen driver or soon-to-be driver looks to you for guidance on safe driving techniques.
Drive Alive is an organization dedicated to young driver safety. Visit our website at drivealiveindiana.org to view videos designed to facilitate conversations between parents and their teen drivers.
Topics include getting to know your vehicle, understanding car insurance, simple car maintenance, and what to do if you just had an accident.
Visit drivealiveindiana.org to learn more. Welcome back to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. Abby's neck is sore. She was just saying during the commercial break. We went over to Power Up, which is like in the same building as Ace here in Fort Wayne. And it's a adrenaline park, action park. I don't know exactly what they call it, but they have a slide, and you went down it with the girls.
Like so many times.
Yeah, and you got whiplash. You actually have a little video. Maybe you should put that in the show notes as well of you flying off of it. It looked fun.
It was super fun. I just forgot I was old.
Yeah, and so your head banging into the big mat several times.
I'm so sore.
So, anyways, we are talking today about drilling. The first half of the show, we talked about just kind of a drill session with some 2-man or 2 women, or a man and a woman drill sessions. But now we're going to talk about what if you're by yourself, or what if you have 3 or 4 people, and we'll give a couple ideas for our favorite drills to do during those times. So starting off with the ball machine. Since I've been here at Ace, I've kind of gotten this routine of getting up early, coming in and spending an hour or so on the ball machine, and I love it. Like, I'll equate it back to when I was golfing, and I would love, like, I think I probably loved practicing more than most people. So like when I was a golfer, I loved chipping and putting, just kind of put my AirPods in, listen to music, and get to work, try to work on things that I can
Back
do.
in high school, you had AirPods. Was it your
No,
Walkman?
that was my Walkman.
I was going to say.
No, I actually not.
Were those invented yet?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I remember at one point I had like these like AM, FM radios, like these big yellow ones that look like an air traffic controller.
That's hilarious.
But anyways,
Those were the 90s anyways.
so I love coming out and just drilling, just practicing. Same with basketball. I would love to go to the gym and just shoot around, like work on things. That's how you get better, right?
Yeah.
And so I've enjoyed the ball machine. I think you get more reps. I think it's really a lot of times a better workout because you're, running around, and I try to keep it going. So even once all the balls are done with the machine, try to pick them up quickly. I work on like deep knee bends and squats as I pick up the balls and put them away. I mean, just try to make it all like workout minded, I think is the way to go for that. So what are your thoughts, first of all, on a ball machine, and then we'll kind of get into what we do.
So like with the 2-person, I think you can work on like your whole court, but I think with a ball machine, and somebody else said this too, but I agree with this, that pick just 1 or 2 skills, maybe 3 skills, and really focus on that for a whole hour. So you really get focused in on what you want to
Totally
do.
agree with that.
So for me, it would be like the first time, if I were to drill today, I would probably put the ball machine at the baseline and I would just drill balls at myself.
And you would stand
I would be
where?
at the kitchen line.
Okay.
So actually I would stand in 3 different places.
Okay.
I would stand baseline and I would just work on like basically my return. I'd pretend like that's a serve.
But
and I'd
really
work
the
on my
setting
return
on the ball machine is
Is-
firing it just over the net
with a top spin.
with topspin.
Okay, because those are
So
hard.
if you're at the kitchen line, you're going to work on volleying it out of the air or blocking.
Yep. If I'm mid-court, I would work on letting it bounce and resetting it over, or taking that out of the air and resetting it over.
Okay.
And then if I was at the baseline, kind of a return of serve, just
Yeah.
driving it back over. So,
But I like that even from just a time standpoint. Like it might take you a few minutes and watching the ball go over several times before you get the setting right.
Yeah.
But once you dial in that setting,
Right.
then it's going to be able
do
to
several different things with the one setting.
Right. Instead of
Yeah.
then you load it back up several times instead of then readjusting it. So that's a good tip for if you're using a ball machine for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned ground strokes earlier. I think ball machines are great for that just because sometimes the consistency, depending on what ball machine you have, the one that we use, I feel like sometimes if I try to set it just perfectly, it'll clip the net. Sometimes it'll be too high, others. So
That's
I
great,
kind of
yeah.
find more just let it feed me kind of meatballs
Okay.
and let me work on my ground strokes. It's like a good use of
Yeah.
my time as well. You mentioned resets. I like to do that same thing, just work on top speed and just catching the ball, like thinking I'm not trying to punch it, but I'm just trying to block it and absorb it, like bringing the paddle back towards me instead of away from me. I think of Matt Carpenter, who we have not mentioned on the pod like in
Oh
at
my
least 2 or
goodness.
3 episodes. So he is still alive and well.
I played with him this morning.
You did? Okay.
He was asking about your knee.
Oh, such a good guy. But Matt, I feel like I saw so much improvement in his game, and I know that he used a ball machine like maybe last winter a ton, and just worked on that blocking. And
His blocking is
his blocking
so
like
good.
improved so
Like
much.
I attack him
Yeah.
and he blocks it right back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he's a very hard person to attack. I would
Yeah.
agree with that. But then also working on your drops and dinks, just all the things. Find what you think needs the most work and set the machine to that, and spend an hour just dedicated to that. You can set up a machine to just feed you dinks and work on your cross-court dinks. And then the last thing I'll say about a ball machine is use all of the time. Like I mentioned, even after I hit all the balls, I turn off the machine, and then instead of walking around the entire court where I have balls spread out all over, I take all the balls that are on my side of the net and I work on forehands or work on drops, and I kind of try to pile them up in one spot so
That's
I
a
can
good
clean
idea.
them up there. So that's just kind of a silly logistical thing, but I feel like it just helps be more productive with my time that I have with the ball machine.
you could also like crab walk and get all the balls. That'd be a really good workout.
Crab walk?
That's a good workout.
Is
That's all I'm
it?
saying. It is.
Like on my back,
Uh-huh.
like belly up.
Yeah.
I don't think I've crab walked since I was in 4th grade.
It'd be a good workout.
Do you crab walk?
I do.
When?
In the basement.
I gotta turn the basement camera on sometimes just to see you. If I ever like looked on that thing and saw you crab walking around the basement, I'd be pretty sure you'd.
There's some crazy things I do down there.
Totally lost it. All right, so let's go on to 3-person drills.
Okay.
So it's the worst. Sometime you have 8 people. This happened the other Saturday, not naming any names. Somebody slept
7.
in. Right, we had 8 people.
Oh, yeah.
And then one person didn't show up, so we only had 7.
7.
So we're stuck with only 3 on one court. Now, sometimes you think, oh, that sucks, that's the worst thing. But in all honesty, it's a good chance to do some drilling, some
Yeah.
other
Yep.
Types of games. So the most common one we call like cutthroat or Canadian doubles. Is that offensive?
I have no idea
Okay,
why
I'm
it's
sorry.
called Canadian doubles.
If you're from Canada, leave us
Would you explain this?
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't know what I mean?
No, I'm saying the
Oh, oh.
Canadian people. If
Oh,
they're
Canadian,
listening,
yes.
please explain it.
Like why did you steal the name, or is it offensive that we call it Canadian doubles? But basically 2-on-1, the person who is the one can use the whole court, and the 2 people have to use the side that the one person is on. If you have an even amount, you serve from the right side. If you have an odd amount, you serve from the left, and you just play until you lose a point, and then you
It's a really
rotate
good.
around.
It really is good.
Yeah, here's a variation that I have not tried yet that I would love to try, and I kind of just made this up. Maybe somebody's tried it before. But we used to do a game in basketball called Momentum, which was make it, take it. So you'd shoot and score, and if you scored, then you could just take the ball out as quickly as possible. So the defenders, like there's usually a 2-on-2 game. The defenders then have to like readjust really quickly. It's called momentum because if my buddy, if Andy shoots a 3, I get the ball out of the net and I fire it right back to him. He can just keep shooting 3s until the defense adjusts to get out there. So how about momentum cutthroat, where you just go, like as soon as it's like your point, you don't have to wait for everybody to get set. You grab that ball, you sprint to the other side, and you can serve it up as long as you hit a legal serve. And so it gets like more running around.
Okay.
You like
I like
it?
it. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Once my knee's better.
Yeah.
Right now, I would be slow to get there, but
Very slow.
I think that would be kind of fun to like make it more of a cardio thing. Like sprint to the other side, and you gotta move around.
Okay.
Adjust.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna call that Canadian momentum. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. You also mentioned a lot of the drills that you talked about as 2-person. You can do as 3-person as well.
Yeah, so just that 7-Eleven, you can do with 2 people at the line, and the 20, where you're trying to reset 20 of them into the kitchen, you can have 1 person at the line pounding them back at 2 people.
Yeah.
A lot of things you can do.
Yeah, just with 3 people. So don't think if you only have 3 people, if 1 person didn't show up, you can still get a really good pickleball workout in. And in all honesty, you get more reps.
Right.
Like I sometimes will set up just the skinny singles time to play skinny singles for 2 hours, and in theory, I'm really hitting the ball about twice as much as I would have
Right.
if I was playing doubles.
Yeah.
So,
And it's good.
yep.
So 4-person.
Yeah, 4-person drill. You like this game? I think you just like the name.
Dinkle.
Dinkle. I can't.
I
say
just
what
do
you
it at a lot of the clinics that I put on. It's kind of a fun game.
Yeah.
And it's cross-court dinking, 4 people, so there's 2 balls going. So it truly does work on your concentration.
Okay.
It truly does, because the
balls
balls are
are
flying.
going cross court
Yep.
to each
And
other.
so the
Yeah.
second somebody loses a ball, whether they dink it into the net or they dink it out, then whoever notices that says dinkle, and then you play out the
Yells
point.
dinkle.
Yells dinkle.
Yes.
And then you play out the point
Yeah.
with the remaining ball. It's
Yeah.
just kind of fun. It's court awareness.
Yeah.
It's situational awareness. It's watching everything. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good.
And then the point goes to whichever team wins it.
Yeah.
Not that first ball. The first ball doesn't really matter. It's
No.
more of just kind of to
Yeah.
get it set up, and then dinkle, and then game on.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun to do.
Fun one.
Yep.
This one I call kitchen out. I like this, especially for groups that struggle to get into the dink game, where you just start in the dink game. So you're not playing a serve and return and then working your way up to the line, but it's just right away, 4 people at the kitchen line. You start dinking, and you say maybe 3 dinks and then game on, where you can do anything you want. You can keep dinking, you can lob, you can speed up, but it just kind of gets more into like the way pickleball is supposed to be played without having to go through the formalities of the serve and return and all of that. So it's a good way to work on that. So that's kitchen out. Similar to that, or maybe just kind of working not on speed ups or being smart about things, and just really, we've talked a lot about placement over power. 4 to Pro podcast says placement or
place over pace.
Place over pace.
Place over pace, which I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I like placement over power too.
Yeah.
But same idea of, it's really more about where you position the ball and trying to set up that next shot, trying to set up your opponent to make the mistake to then get the put away. And so the no speed up, or I think on 4 to Pro they called it like the 5 mile per hour speed limit game, where you just are playing an entire game, but there's no speeding the ball up.
You just play the point out in the kitchen, and you play a game.
And you start to realize how you can hit winners, like without having to speed it up.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I think you should be able to do is an ATP in the backcourt.
Okay.
If I send somebody wide enough, they should be able to hit it.
Okay.
Hit an ATP, because you don't want to work on not hitting ATPs.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I would even say that for skinny singles too. Some people.
I agree with that.
Yeah, even if you're playing cross court skinny, if somebody
it's a good
sends you
shot,
wide
you
enough,
should be able to do
you should be able.
Yeah.
As long as it stays below net level
Yeah.
and you're not doing like a lob ATP or whatever. So yeah, so those are some good 4-person drills.
Let's drill. Let's drill in Fort Wayne.
I would love to go out right now and drill.
I'm sorry.
I think actually my knee's feeling good enough that I could stand and like dink.
Yeah. Have you taken any pain meds for it?
I really have not.
Maybe.
Should I? What would you recommend?
What doesn't hurt your tummy?
Maybe a Mobic. I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of my magic. Mobic works miracles
It
on me.
does, but it hurts your belly.
Yeah.
So.
As long as I have a full stomach of
Yeah.
food, I think it's okay. But
Yeah.
I probably should take some pain meds, some anti-inflammatory.
Pain
That's
is
a good
still
idea.
like, I still feel like I could do another whole podcast on pain, because
Pain
I just
management?
I think Matt Carpenter and I were talking after
Yeah.
playing today of just pain doesn't necessarily mean something.
Right.
Sometimes we just hurt.
Yeah.
And if you give it a couple days, like, your knee really could be fine. It really could be.
It's hard to imagine that. Feeling the pop, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
But feeling that pop
Yeah.
and then as sore as
But
it
even
is,
even if you have some meniscus issue in there,
Right.
do you necessarily need to have surgery?
Right.
I don't know that you
Yeah.
have to.
Or you also suggested it could have been like a burst.
I said Baker's
Baker's
cyst. It
cyst.
could be a Baker's cyst.
So if that was the case, then maybe it just kind of heals up. I just can't explain the pain that I have felt with it.
But when I
putting
had my
weight on it.
back issue, I felt a pop in my hamstring. I thought I ruptured my hamstring,
Yeah.
and it all came from my back. So I just think, and that happened twice in my hamstring.
Yeah.
So I just think pain is interesting. It's an interesting topic.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it makes me think though, and so here's a forewarning for those of you who have had this thought before, is if I could rewind time 2 months, I'd go back and start hitting, the leg lifts more and deep knee bends and really trying to have that preventative stuff. So
You could go back to an
jump rope.
episode called Injury Prevention.
I could. Yeah. But you're 100% right.
But anytime you can work on plyometrics, that's going to give you the stability and the power that you want for explosive movement.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you just have compromised knee cartilage because you're 45, because you have a family history of bad knees, it is what it is.
I do. Between my 2 parents, they
have 4 fake knees.
4 fake knees now.
So
as of 2024 or 2023, they got them all done.
So sometimes it's just part of life.
At some point, I'll probably be there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe sooner than later. Maybe I should just go for it now.
No.
No? Okay. I'd love a bionic knee. But I'd have to replace it again. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you're too young.
Okay. Too young. 45 and too young. I'd like to hear that. All right, let's end with something you love. What's something you love? You love your Christmas gifts?
I do.
Did I do good?
Matt got me a new Yola bag, which I'd been needing. My pickleball bag was old and little, like right kind of before I even really got into pickleball. So I got a bigger bag. It looks great. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice bright pink.
Yep.
You had a K-Swiss bag before.
I did. It was just like a backpack, which is fine.
Yeah.
But this one has more space for the things I need.
Yeah.
My
Did you
jumper.
find out why it looks like it's like a thermal cooler
I
inside.
forgot to Google that.
It's interesting. If you work for Yola, tell us why does it look like you should?
I applied to be a Yola rep.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything back.
come on, shout out. We'd love to be Yola sponsored.
For sure.
I like the Yola paddle. It's not the one I'm playing with right now, but
I like it the best.
I mean, if they paid me enough money, I would play with it. Even a little bit of money.
Right.
What do I love? You know what? I love now.
Do you love me? Let's. I need to ask this.
Yes.
Okay.
I love you.
Thank you.
I love you.
You are grumpy.
Stop saying I'm grumpy. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Yeah, I was gonna say I love you. No, I wasn't actually gonna say that. I was going to say I love coffee now.
This is, you guys, this is like blowing my mind. Matt drinks coffee.
I'm a coffee
it's
drinker.
So weird. He discovered it recently.
Makes me feel good.
No.
People aren't
No
lying when they
joke.
say like I need more coffee. Now it's like, but I don't feel like I can do without it.
Would you
But,
just wait?
Yeah.
Give it another month and you'll be like,
Great. Another addiction to
so
face.
funny.
I don't know.
Somebody just discovered coffee
Yeah, at 45.
at 45.
Yeah. It started.
That's like it helps my ADD. I'm like, duh. I tried to give our second grader coffee one time for her ADHD. Didn't work out.
Oh God! Please don't say that on the podcast. Please, CPS, do not come out.
No, that's an actual thing.
Oh, is
like
it?
doctors will recommend it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
good
good.
doctor
Yes, it's good for ADHD.
to give a kid
Caffeine,
coffee.
yes.
Okay. Cool. All right, there you go. Give your kids coffee, folks. Start them young, not 45 like me.
But to be fair, like if people are trying to go the anti-med route, caffeine is a good place to start.
Okay.
And good caffeine is from coffee, not like Mountain Dew. I'm not
Yeah.
handing my child a Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So anyways.
That's fair. I would say, like, to be fair, I'm not like a hardcore coffee drinker. I can't drink it black.
I drink it
That's
black.
why. Ugh. Gross. I put a lot of cream in it. It's candy. It's candy.
It's like a milkshake.
Yeah, like my morning hot milkshake. I actually like it over ice more than I like.
Yeah, I know. Like a hot cup
Not
of
my
black
thing.
coffee.
All right, we're gonna do it.
So you like your coffee like you like your women. Weak and cold.
What are you then?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe we should cut that off.
Nah, we don't cut things off. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Catch us next week for Bang Dink Ow with me and Ryan as we break down. Abby loves it.
Maybe it's gonna be my game though.
Is there something wrong with that with that name?
Holy.
No, you can't say that. All right.
We
We'll
too.
see.
We too low.
You too low. You too cold. All right. See you next time. Have a great week. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Drive Alive, Indiana, Pickleball Rocks, Ace Pickleball, and Wheeland Real Estate. Reach out to Abby B for all your buying, selling, investing, and other real estate needs. In addition, a big thank you to the Ace Pickleball Studio in the world-famous Spiece Fieldhouse. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number One More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the love. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun tips, tricks, and other family shenanigans. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.